Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video. And I'm going to start it off in 2nd Esdras chapter 8 in the Apocrypha, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Point blank period. And we're living in the latter times right now, the last days, really the last seconds of the last days before the second coming of Yahawashi Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ, the end of this current age of the rulership of the heathen nations, chiefly by the biblical Edomites, or these so-called white people, and the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven under the true children of Israel, who are known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today. And as it says, many great miseries, many great judgments shall be done to them, because they have walked in great pride. And in these times we're living in, this is the most prideful humanity has ever been, especially in the great whore, the United States of America. So many great judgments are coming all across the planet to judge these people and kill them off in horrific ways. And just recently, we saw one of these many great miseries take place in Turkey and Syria with that great earthquake, which is what I'll be dealing with in this video. And this is an article from abcnews.go.com, and it's live updates. These numbers of deaths just keep going up. So, hey, don't be surprised by the time I post this video, these death numbers have gone up. Turkey earthquake, live updates. 3 Americans among the victims, State Department says. Monday's quake was centered in Turkey's southeastern Kahramanmaraş province. And again, this is an example of one of those many great miseries that's going to be done to people in these last days for the great pride they've been walking in. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 5. Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, many great miseries, the sword, wars. You got that war in Ukraine. World War III is going to take place. Famine. You've been seeing a lot of these different food processing plants in America and all across the planet mysteriously catch fire and get destroyed. Hey, the elites are manufacturing a food crisis out here, a famine to get you desperate to accept all their dictates for their NW0, the GREATRESET, that fourth industrial revolution. You've already got some places in Africa that are in a case of severe starvation right now. The head of the UN World Food Group, who I believe his name is David Beasley, has been saying for the last couple of years that the planet faces famines of biblical proportions, death and destruction. And again, with that earthquake in Turkey and Syria, we saw great destruction and death. For wickedness, pride, hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. We're at the end of this age of the rulership of the heathen nations, again, chiefly of the Edomites. They've just about reached those bounds which they cannot pass. Their wickedness has just about been fulfilled, their hurtful works, and then they're going to be cut off, and then the true rulers of the planet are going to be back in power. The children of Israel, bringing about righteous works and a righteous kingdom. This is Matthew chapter 24. I'm going to start at verse 6. And this is Yahawashi speaking to his disciples in the past, telling them of the end time signs to look for, to know that his second coming was at hand, the end of the rulership of the heathen nations was nigh, and that the kingdom of heaven was right around the corner. And of course, that didn't happen at the time when Yahawashi was first on the scene. So Yahawashi was really speaking to his disciples today, who through the reincarnation are living in these times, the latter times, before the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Slakia, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Again, you've got the war in Ukraine and rumors of war. China versus Taiwan, Russia versus NATO and the U.S., Iran versus Israel, World War III, nuclear war. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. The end is going to truly come after that charagma, the Markofthebeast in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18, which is the RFID/NFC C-hip implant, is mandatorily implemented. After that takes place, everything's going to be fast-tracked to World War III truly kicking off, Yahweh's second coming, and the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel, and the beginning stages of the kingdom of heaven being established. Verse 7, some more end times prophecies to know that we're living in these latter days. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, and what? And earthquakes in diverse places, in Turkey, in Syria, and in other places all across the planet, taking place damn near daily. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Hey, we're just in the beginning stages of these great judgments and calamities and miseries that Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh is about to bring on this planet for all the wickedness and pride you people have been walking in. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, and the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers coming in the spirit of GMS, are diligently measuring the times by watching the news and reading the scriptures, and then filtering the news through the scriptures to go out onto the highways and byways to preach this word, as well as to put up video epistles like this. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made, to bring about those great miseries in these latter times, to judge these people for the great pride and wickedness they've been walking in. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And with all these end time signs taking place, or in the process of taking place as we speak, we can see that the end is manifesting right before our very eyes. But let's get back into a little bit of this article. More than 12,000 people, hey, that's an astronomical number compared to a lot of these events of judgment that have been taking place over the last couple of years. And as we get closer to the end, expect many more calamitous events like this with high casualty numbers to take place, are dead after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked southeastern Turkey and northwestern Syria early Monday, according to officials. The pre-dawn quake was centered in the town of Pazarsik in Turkey's southeastern Kahramanmaraş province and was followed by several powerful aftershocks. Thousands of buildings were toppled on both sides of the border, and the death toll was expected to rise as rescue workers searched for survivors in the massive piles of rubble. Latest headlines: 3 Americans killed in Turkey by earthquake, says the State Department. Death toll tops 12,000 in Turkey and Syria. Over 600 aftershocks since Monday's quake. 70 countries, 14 international organizations offer aid to Turkey. American search and rescue teams to start work Wednesday. 23 million people affected in Turkey and Syria. 3 Americans killed in Turkey by earthquake, says State Department. 3 U.S. citizens have been identified as among more than 12,000 victims of the devastating earthquake that rocked Turkey and Syria this week, the State Department confirmed Wednesday. We can confirm reports of at least 3 U.S. citizens killed in southeastern Turkey, a State Department spokesperson said. Our staff in Turkey and here in the United States are working tirelessly to provide consular assistance to these victims and their family members. The State Department is working closely with local authorities and other partner organizations to assist U.S. citizens in affected areas, the spokesperson added. Death toll tops 12,000 in Turkey and Syria. The death toll in Monday's earthquake is now up to 12,019, according to authorities in Turkey and Syria. See with this article, but as we can see, the Most High is keeping good to his word, bringing about these great miseries, this great death and destruction and judgment to judge you people in the latter times we're living in for the great pride and wickedness you've been walking in. And now I'm going to show a little bit more information, just kind of off topic from this, but, just some speculations and interesting timelines for things that have taken place. Because about a week ago, Turkey was against some dictates and plans that NATO wanted to pass. And then what do you see? This massive earthquake take place. And besides that, Turkey has been very critical of the West for their way in handling Russia and putting sanctions on them. Because really, behind the scenes, Turkey is one of Russia's biggest allies. And when World War III truly kicks off, you're going to see Turkey completely turn tail against the West, NATO and the U.S., and ally themselves with Russia, which is all a part of biblical prophecy. But now I'm going to play this clip from TikTok real quick. No such thing as a coincidence. Turkey rejected a NATO expansion a week ago and then faced a massive earthquake. And they have the captions down here, and it's from Texas Militia's TikTok. And again, I'll say, I'm just going to play this information and let you be the judge. This is just a little bit of speculation, but we do know that the powers that be have abilities to manipulate the weather. The H to the A to the A to the R to the P, and these different systems masquerading as the DOPPLER radars.
No such thing as a coincidence. Turkey rejected a NATO expansion a week ago and then faced a massive earthquake.
Çok net söylüyorum. Pis ellerini Türkiye'nin üzerinden çek. Neleri yaptırdığınızı, hangi adımları attırdığınızı, Türkiye'yi nasıl karıştırmak istediğinizi net bir şekilde biliyoruz. O pis ellerinizi, o maskeli, sırıtan yüzlerinizi Türkiye'nin üzerinden çekiniz. Bu kadar açık ve net.
And we know that the U.S. and the West has a history of turning against allies who don't want to follow after their dictates. Look at Saddam Hussein, for example. The U.S. and the West funded him during the Iran-Iraq war in the 1980s. You even have pictures of Donald Rumsfeld with Saddam Hussein. And then what happened? They had 2 different wars against him to depose his government. Back before the Vietnam War, the U.S. actually funded the Viet Minh, which was led by Ho Chi Minh, to fight against the Japanese during World War II. And then fast forward to the Vietnam War, where the U.S. was fighting against Ho Chi Minh in North Vietnam, former allies. And we can't forget Osama bin Laden, who was trained by the CIA, and then the Taliban, which the U.S. helped to fund to fight against the Russians in the 1980s, and then turn around to fight against them in the war in Afghanistan. So with Turkey constantly playing both sides of the fence and not completely playing ball with the U.S. and the West, hey, don't be surprised if that this earthquake was more than just a mere coincidence, after they rejected NATO expansion plans. But remember that this is all ultimately through the will of the Most High. The Most High is in control of everything and everyone. As it says in Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1, the king's heart or mind is in the hand of the Most High. He moveth it whatsoever he will to fulfill biblical prophecy. Like I said a little bit earlier, you've got these elites manufacturing food shortages to bring about famines to get people desperate. And you've got these weather manipulating systems that the powers that be use. But know that these people aren't doing it of their own free will. The Most High is controlling them like puppets to fulfill prophecy, to create these biblical alliances, and to bring about judgment. Because like I just said, there's going to come a point to where Turkey is going to completely turn against the U.S. in the West and ally themselves with Russia. But before I get to that, this is Jeremiah 14, verse 22. And are there any among the vanities of the Gentiles that can cause rain? And the H to the A to the A to the R to the P and the DOPPLER radar are considered vanities of the Gentiles. And what? They do cause rain. They cause weather events and stuff like that. Or can the heavens give showers? Art not thou he, O Yahweh, our power? Therefore we will wait upon thee, for thou hast made all these things. Again, everything you see out here, every plans that the powers that be come up with are ultimately sanctioned and ordained by the Most High to fulfill biblical prophecy. We're all just actors in his movie. But now I'm going to close it out in Ezekiel chapter 38. I'm going to start at verse 1. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, which is the biblical name for Russia, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And that's the Most High putting that old confrontational Soviet Union spirit back onto these Russian Edomites. And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, their military hardware, jets, helicopters, tanks, artillery pieces, soldiers, S-300s, S-400s, hypersonic missiles. And we can see that the Most High has begun to bring these Russian Edomites forward with their war in Ukraine. But what this is ultimately talking about is the Russian military, along with these other heathens' militaries, getting gathered down into the Valley of Jehoshaphat in that Middle Eastern region for the battle in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, the War of Armageddon in Joel chapter 3, verse 5. Persia, which is the ancient name for Iran, and Russia is Iran's top ally, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And if you look at these two countries, Russia has been having dealings with them as well as other African countries, building political, economic, and military ties. I just did a video the other day showing how Mali is getting new military hardware from Russia. But here's the point I wanted to get to. Gomer, which is Turkey, and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, their company or their allies. And like I've been saying throughout the video, Turkey is going to completely turn against the U.S. in the West during World War III and fully ally themselves with Gog or Russia. And those that are higher up in government have much more information than us, down on the average citizen level. So best believe that they understand that weather manipulation technology exists, and if they get wind that because they didn't want to go along with NATO's dictates, that the backlash for this from the West was this earthquake. Hey, that's just going to further cause that rift between Turkey and the West and further push them into the camp of Gog or Russia. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And Russia is going to be the ultimate guard to these smaller nations. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the biblical Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.